Now, a man who's, he'd be well known to every AFL football follower, NEFL football follower as well. He's got a man, he's dipped in both camps to a certain degree. His son running around who's got leather poisoning at the moment for the Southport Sharks with 18 touches, and also a famous Sydney Swans heritage, Mr. Paul Roos. Thanks for joining us, Roosy.
Oh, good on you. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a good day and a good game. Young Sydney Swans team. They've got they got 8 listed players. So
8 listed today.
Yeah, and against the Southport team that's been a really consistent side all year. So it's a good game.
Obviously impressed with the way Tyler's going about the business. You would have given him a few defensive tips over the years.
No, he's found his niche at half-back. He's played a bit on the wing in the middle of the year, but he's had a really good season at half-back. And, it's tough conditions out there. He's found a bit of the footy. I guess both teams are struggling to move the ball cleanly because of the wind. He's had a good first half.
Now, you've had a good opportunity to see a fair bit of NEFL football. I saw you at the season opener in Canberra. I've seen you at the Southport here, and I'm sure you've seen a few games down in Sydney and around where Tyler's played. How have you seen the NEFL this year? Obviously, you see a lot of AFL football and the development, I suppose, given that you've had some input with the Swans Academy, amongst other things. Yeah,
I think it's going to draw some better players, as it has over the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, with the AFL players playing, the conditions are great. That's what I noticed. VFL football can get really cramped and because of the ground sometimes. Williamstown, Sandringham, even out at Cranbourne at Casey, quite windy conditions, very stoppage-based game. So the NEFL's a lot more wide open. So I think it's going to drag a lot of players, particularly with the VFL Development League disbanding this year. I think that'll drag a lot of really good young players, 20, 21, 22. So I've been really impressed with the standard. The non-AFL clubs have been really competitive this year. Obviously, Aspley last week, saw Sydney Uni play a couple of times, and even the bottom teams. Redlands were competitive in a lot of the games, and so were NT. So the quality in the non-AFL NEFL teams has been really high.
And of course, you've got the overseas connection with the wife Tammy, and some of the family stream live the NEFL TV commentary as well. So we're very proud to be international in that regard.
They're listening right now. So to all the Hardy crew that are over there listening, they're watching the game. They get very excited, particularly when Tyler gets the footy and you call out his name. So all the crew are listening back in California, near San Francisco, 50 miles south and thereabouts. So grandparents and aunties and uncles and cousins and everything. So it's great. It's fantastic for them.
So Tyler obviously making the decision to come to Southport. It still feel like the AFL dreams are alive for him, and we've seen a lot of players come through not only the academy system, Brisbane, the Suns and the Swans, and obviously the Giants and so forth. But we've also seen some players come from other teams, like Vandenberg, for example, and you'd know that well from your Melbourne days. Is there anything you've seen this year that I suppose gives hope to a few more players, not only from within that academy system, but outside that are playing in those non-AFL
absolutely.
sides?
I know Tyler, Josh Clayton's here. Scotty Clayton's been recruiting for AFL clubs for the best part of 20 years, and I know Tyler spoke to Scott about how he sees the NEFL, and I spoke to Steve Silvani. So the 4 boys that played at Sandy Dragons, I think they all hope to still get drafted. So the feedback from recruiters is really positive about coming up to the NEFL and playing these games. I think we're seeing, as you mentioned, Vandenberg came from the Wagner boys. Josh obviously had a bit to do with as well. So I think this will become more and more as teams, I think, evolve, and I'm hoping, and I think I've said this publicly, certainly on the couch, that the AFL give the bottom teams extra 21 to 24-year-olds.
They're calling it the Roos rule now that they want enacted, which is the
mature age guys. I've seen a lot of VFL guys. I've seen a lot of, I was fortunate to watch both my sons grow up in New South Wales. So I've seen a lot of the Rams kids, but I've also, as you mentioned, worked with the academy for 3 years while I wasn't coaching. So I've seen a lot of high quality. Then I went down to Melbourne and watched the Sandy Dragons play for the 2 years that Tyler was there. There's a lot of footballers out there not playing AFL football that are more than capable of playing AFL football. So I hope the AFL does change the rules for the bottom teams and gives them some mature age kids.
And what about the future of the academies? We've heard some AFL clubs sort of voice some concerns around the academies, that they don't get enough of a dip at them. But certainly those northern states, New South Wales and Queensland, they have proven to be some really good breeding grounds, and you've played your part. Where do you see the academy program really going within the system?
Yeah, look, I was part of establishing the Swans Academy with Chris Smith, and I know Smithy's here today. He's a great mate of mine. He's done an outstanding job as the Swans, so I can only sort of talk intimately about the Swans Academy because I was involved. QBE got behind it. They enlisted 600 or 700 kids coming through their academy. They got hubs at Wollongong and Newcastle and North Shore and around the eastern suburbs. So they've done a really, really good job. They've dragged kids in, and I mean, everyone talks about Isaac Heaney and Cal Mills. They're super, super talented kids. Now, they would have been draftable, I would think it anyway, but it's probably pushed them, both those boys, from maybe a mid-20 pick, mid-30 pick to probably, I know they were bidded on by the Swans, but probably 1, 2, 3 pick. That's how much improvement they've made through the academy system. So the Swans have done a fantastic job, and I think you'll see the Lions, Suns and Giants put more and more money into it because it's a great investment in the kids. Not only that, you can see how it filters back into the local comps as well, because if you're talking about the northern states, you want coaches, you want young kids going back and helping young under 12s, under 13s. You want them to go back and play local footy, so it has enormous benefits, not just the kids that go on and play AFL footy.
So I was going to say the local footy at the today, I think in Sydney, or was it yesterday, the under 19 Div 1 grand final, there was 20 odd Swans Academy kids involved in that game, as well as the plethora of talent we've got in front of us. So I mean, especially, I've been watching NEAFL for a little while, and the Sydney Swans just seem to have it down pat. They have the best bottom half list in the league, methinks.
Yeah, look, as I said, Chris Smith does a great job. Jared Crouch is involved in that at the moment. Mickey O'Loughlin was involved. So they get high-quality guys, teaching the kids. They've got a great group of coaches. And as you see today, I mean, I think there's only 8 AFL Swans listed players, and the young boys are playing really, really well. It's just been a bit stiff, perhaps their connection into the forward line and the fact that they don't play together, but it's certainly a closer game than perhaps what the scoreboard suggests. So even the 14 boys out here, you can see their skill levels nice and high. They understand the game, they change angles, they hit targets, so they're not just a blast team down the line all the time. So they're really well educated, as you said.
Well, it's the integration as well, isn't it? Because the listed players could sometimes, I suppose, focus on themselves, but it's a real credit to these AFL lists now to really embrace these academy boys, and one, I suppose, embrace the fact that they can play, but two, really try and include them and trust them in the way they go about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, and the Swans done a great job, as I said, but you even look today, I mean, Johnny Longmire's here, Andrew Ireland, Andrew Pridham, I ran into Josh Kennedy, Luke Parker, Tom Papley yesterday, I think Nick Smith's come up, Cal Mills is on the board down there, so the actual club itself has really embraced the academy boys, and for them to come up, Ty Kennelly's their coach, and the privilege of coaching Tig as well. So you can see how much that the academy means. The boys come in, they feel accepted. I mean, you get your captain coming up here, Joey Kennedy, and watching the seconds, and you're watching the young boys. If I'm a young boy pulling on a Swans jumper, Swans Academy boy playing today, I'm really proud of my footy club already, and I'm really invested in my footy club. And I look around, I see John Longmire, the senior coach. So, look, it's a wonderful football club, and they've done a terrific job with their academy.
Now, speaking of wonderful football clubs, we'll just divert for a moment. Just want to get your opinion on the D's and the way they've progressed through. Great game against Hawthorn the other night. You must be feeling like a proud dad in that regard.
Yeah, look, I'm enjoying it. Really, really am. I'm excited about the year, excited about the week one when they beat Geelong, and I was at the ground. It's hard to sort of be a neutral commentator and try and commentate and without barracking, but thankfully we actually don't have to commentate during the game. We just do the pre-game, half-time and post-game. So, look, it's amazing. It's a credit to Goody and the staff, and so wrapped for Nathan Jones and Maxie Gawn have been there a long period of time. Nev Jetta, Jack Viney's pedigree with his dad being there as well. Dad's list manager. Toddy's done an amazing job. So, look, Peter Jackson, Glenn Bartlett, the list goes on and on. It's been an amazing effort for so many people to turn that footy club around over the last 5 years, and it's so pleasing that they're in the preliminary final and be an exciting weekend of footy next weekend.
Well, look, Paul Roos, it's been an absolute delight to have you here on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. I know you've been a great supporter of the NEAFL. You even mention it on your Fox Sports shows and all of that, so we're grateful for all of that as well. You're not like Lynchy, who calls it the NIFL. But we're very, very grateful for you this afternoon. How do you think the second half's going to go quickly?
Yeah, I mean, the wind is a factor, isn't it? I mean, there's no question about it. I think, at 5 goals up, it'd be hard to see Southport winning. But, Rose really got into the game. You mentioned Dawson's a good player. They're Ruckman, Cameron. So they've got the quality there. There's no question. So I wouldn't want to be Southport, take my foot off the pedal, because they've got some high-quality players out there. I think centre clearance is a huge. If you can get we know the territory game, and particularly with the way the wind is. I like the way Southport have set up their defence with Davis just sitting in that back 50. They look really safe back there. So yeah, I think if I was putting my money on it, put it on Southport. Hopefully, but anything can happen in a grand final.
Brilliant. Thanks very
Good
much
on
for
you guys.
joining us, Paul Roos.
Pleasure.
Greatly appreciated.
Thank you.